Welcome to this Woman Wednesday edition of Liquid Lunch on Biz TV. I'm John Tabacco, and boy, do we have a fire-breathing dragon of a show for you today, and a whopper. Nico loves when I say whopper. A whopper of a special surprise coming your way in just a minute. Big surprise for us this morning when Donald Trump on Fox and Friends started talking about how he may use executive privilege to do a payroll tax and stimulate small businesses. Now, if you remember, just a few days ago, I suggested this to the president on this show. Check it out. Republicans have come out with their stimulus plan, about $1 trillion. Does not have the payroll tax cut in there, which I thought would really rocket the market. Said that there weren't enough people. 3 Republicans weren't even on board with it. So rather than waste a lot of time, the president wants to get the money into the hands of the people. So the payroll tax is on hold. I think he will use some stroke of his executive privilege to enact some kind of beautiful payroll relief for small businesses. Small business owners can start hiring again, all that good stuff. That was last Monday. I saw it, I said it, I put it in a blog, I tweeted it, I added Donald Trump Jr. at it, and now the president's doing exactly that. I'm going to be talking about that a lot more today at 2:30, right after Liquid Lunch. Tune into Newsmax TV's American Agenda. I'll be on there. And this morning, the president said this. Trump weighs executive action on payroll tax as lawmakers roundly reject option. They can't reject executive privilege. So I think he's going to do it. The market's going to rocket. Not as much as the show is going to rocket right now, when I'm joined with a very special guest, surprise guest, right here in studio with us, and we got way more coming. Xen Sams joins me for the whole 2 hours today. Xen, thank you. Thank you very much for making your way to the Corona Bunker Studios.
Cheers.
Cheers to you. All right.
Happy to be here, John.
Xen's going with a little white wine for this Woman Wednesday, and I am doing a beautiful Fine Oak Triple Cask Macallan 15. And you're not even going to believe it. More people are coming by later. People are zooming in. We're going to have some more live people in the studio. But Xen, out there in America right now, there are 30 million small businesses, account for 65% of all the jobs in America, okay? The government did this big PPP thing, and 5% of the companies, 1.7 million companies, got PPP loans. So that left out 95% of the companies in America. And a payroll tax right here, a payroll tax holiday or cut can stimulate those businesses to keep people hired and hire people back. I mean, should the president get aggressive, you think?
I think the president should get aggressive because this is a time that matters. Not just does it matter for his campaign, and I think it's coming from a place of truth and honesty, but I think it also matters because right now small businesses are suffering like they've never suffered before. So any hand is a helping hand, and there haven't been many helping hands on the Democratic side.
So now you have been pan-America. You were living in New York City, then you went up to Canada, stayed with some family. Now you're back here. Now you're trekking out to Staten Island, so you're getting daring. This is like a foreign country to some people. 15,000 restaurants are permanently closed. Can you see the evidence of that in New York City when you're walking around?
I do. You know, I have the privilege of living on the Upper East Side, and right now even Andrew Cuomo, he has said, please guys, you have to come back to New York City. The wealthy have left. It is abandoned, and it truly does feel like that when you walk downtown in Tribeca, when you walk down where, you know, Soho used to have the lively, cool art galleries, and you would have the Hermes store. They're all boarded up, one after the next. And although you do have some outdoor dining, you don't make your way to the same place you did pre-corona, and it does feel very abandoned. But on the Upper East Side, because a lot of families haven't been able to get away from it, it feels quite normal. But definitely we're suffering.
It's happening everywhere. We're suffering. The people need relief. You give the small businesses relief, they'll keep people employed, they'll hire more people. Lots of great things happening in the market. On fire, everything. Stay right there. I'm coming back with Xen right after this. Hey, all right, welcome back. It is a wicked Woman Wednesday edition of Liquid Lunch on Biz TV. I'm John Tabacco, and we're just kicking it through the first hour here, and Xen Sams is joining me for the entire 2 hours today. We got a lot of great guests coming a little later on. Xen, I skipped over my usual market commentary because I wanted to get some time with you in our opening segment. But today, the Dow is up 320 points, well above 27,000. I think if the president does do some executive action, the market goes to 30,000. Bitcoin, which is becoming like, you know, a new rive gauche way of people to pay each other cross borders and stuff, up $500 today, almost at new highs, 480 bucks.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And, you know, I was part of Overstock.com for many years, you know, one of the founding members of their cryptocurrency division. And I've been talking about this. Last Monday, the stock was $53. I told my audience right here, it's going to be $100. As we come into this first hour, Overstock.com, $91, up 40 points, 80% in a week. So I'm killing it with my predictions right now for some reason.
John Tabacco, look at you stepping up to
Bing,
the plate.
let me ring the bell for myself on that one.
Definitely, it's a double ring because you did the Trump thing too, right? So now you have Trump and this.
Ta-da!
Double ring.
I've been abandoning the Trump pen because Biz TV is a little more businessy. So, you know, there's people out there that are moderate and they don't immediately understand me that I am moderate.
He's going to get businesses.
Yeah, no, that's true. Let's go with him. You're right, then. Let's go with him. Let's go with him for today. All right. So you have been on the money, on the spot, all the time, promoting Liquid Lunch from day one, helping us any way you can. For those of you who don't know, Xen Sams is a model. She's an actress. She's a movie producer. She's a super mom and philanthropist. So she wears a lot of hats, okay? But you always make time for us. Thank you for giving me a whole 2 hours of unmitigated time. Now, you don't need this, okay? But one of the good friends of the show, my buddy over at Echo World Communications, they want to incentivize our audience to watch and interact and engage with us. So every day they're going to be giving me some gifts to give away for people who subscribe to the any of our social media and leave a comment.
Oh, we're experts at that.
Yeah, exactly. So today, okay, you don't need this. But those of you out there, you put on a few extra pounds in the quarantine, you want to start getting healthy now, it's nice out, you want to drop the quarantine 15, I want you to wake up with this every morning and see your goals being hit. Check this out. Someone today who leaves a comment, I want a scale. That's all you got to do on any of our social media. You're going to be entered into a contest to win a deluxe Innotech medical scale, unlimited memory, Bluetooth enabled. You can export your readings to your doctor, your wife, your husband, your trainer. You can email your readings, trends to graphics, gives you trending, goal setting, all this other stuff. You can track your success on your cell phone. That's pretty nice, a cool, smart scale.
It is great. So this thing will talk back to you?
It talks to your phone.
You gained 5 pounds?
Yeah, hey, you're over your calorie limit. You made your BM, it measures you for body mass, and it measures you for everything. It's like a 4-point, it's a nice scale. It's like a $50, $60 scale. Someone out there, if you're already a subscriber, just leave us a comment. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe and leave a comment. I subscribed, and then we'll know it's you. And at the end of the show today, somebody's going to win a scale. You can weigh yourself. When I tried out that scale, it said, ah! It screamed, the thing. You know what I mean? Because I put on more than the quarantine 15.
The quarantine 15.
All right. So subscribe, follow, like, engage, thumb up, all that other good stuff. Now, Xen, you have been on the money following the Weinstein trials for us, the Epstein calamities. Cyrus Vansoff is not going after sexual assault victims, giving sweet deals. You've been on the spot for us on all this sexual harassment and stuff. Now there's big news coming out of the Ellen show.
Oh boy, Ellen, a very beloved talk show host for the longest time. Mm-hmm. You know, and now she's facing this PR nightmare where there's claims of toxicity, sexual harassment, racism, allegations in the workforce, and so this Ellen story has hit very close to home in many respects. That a lot of these bigger corporations, talk shows, brands are now faced with, when you're on the air for that long, with that much staff, over that long of a period of time, is it possible that as somebody in charge, like Ellen DeGeneres, things can go under the radar and you don't have the ability to control it all? That is her excuse. My question is that acceptable?
I don't know. I don't think it's acceptable. You know, I've been starting on the show to go down these rabbit holes on these elite satanic cults and all this other stuff. It brings in ratings, I must say that. And there are some coincidental supporting documents out there that make you, it's kind of like things that make you go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do find it curious that right in the middle of all that stuff out in the social media sphere, they're saying Ellen may not come back on television. So could they be connected?
Well, you know what? Warner Brothers is really, I personally feel like they are going to eventually wean her out of the public eye. And I feel like Ellen is going to be faced with a situation that she cannot come back from, for the very reason being that when you have your head writer of your show, Kevin Lehman, with sexual harassment allegations, and you have turned a blind eye to this over and over again, and now you have proof from other celebrities coming on board and saying Ellen DeGeneres' show, cultivated a culture of fear, of intimidation, of racism, of sexual harassment. And you have celebrities backing this up. Celebrities from Everybody Loves Raymond. Rob Garrett, I believe his name is. He played the police officer.
Yep.
Everybody's Loves
Yep. Raymond's brother.
Yeah, Raymond's brother. He
Love it.
came out and he said, you know what, Ellen DeGeneres, that is true. I have heard and witnessed this. Leah Thompson came out and said this, very well known from Back to the Future and from Caroline in the City. So she's come out and she says that is accurate. So when you have celebrities corroborating and saying that this is accurate and the Ellen DeGeneres show did in fact turn a blind eye and Ellen did know of these situations, you're going to have a very hard time to bounce back from that. So my prediction is that Ellen DeGeneres, as loved as she was, will not be able to bounce back from this.
Okay, I tend to agree with you. I think there are more nefarious reasons than even that, but that remains to be seen. Now, Oprah, because you're all hooked up to the Hollywood crowd, you, your husband, big movie producers and all this other stuff. Oprah is now using the cover of O, which is the Oprah magazine, to do special spotlights on like Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor. So Breonna Taylor, yes, I mean, everybody knows this very saddened story, and I, from a mom's perspective, although Black Lives Matter, and I'm very close to following the George Floyd story, I have a very close affinity when I hear the Breonna Taylor story. An EMT worker, an innocent girl, 26 years old, she should have not, her life was spared, only the good die young. But that said, Oprah Winfrey, in 2 decades, has only featured herself on the Oprah magazine and now has decided to feature her cover for the September issue with Breonna Taylor. And Breonna Taylor is somebody that Oprah Winfrey clearly wants to promote for this Her Life Matters campaign. And it's extremely touching because Oprah has never featured anybody in 2 decades but herself.
Really? So I'm not a big Oprah follower. When I think about the big O, I think about Overstock, me personally. But
of course you do.
I had not noted that Oprah only features herself on her own cover. Wow.
Yes.
Talk about narcissism there.
Oh, boy.
Holy Moses.
Oh,
Jeez.
stop.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's my magazine. I'm going to start JT Magazine. I want to put my mug on the cover every month.
Yeah. Well,
really?
No, you could get away
no
with
one
it.
will go near a newsstand.
Of course, you could get away with it.
People
if you
will
wear
be
this
flocking
beautiful
from
suit,
news. Well, like I said.
Every time you wear this suit, I always say, John, I love this suit. Who makes it?
Look at this, too, also. You like the inside?
I do love the inside. And you even have
America
a JT
flag,
little monogram.
with bulls and bears on there.
I love it. It's my favorite suit.
So, and I'm dressed up special today because you're here. But as the people watching at home don't know, I'm wearing a bathing suit and flip-flops underneath here.
Yep.
And Zen is fully clothed.
Fully clothed, yes. But to add, if you turn a blind eye to racism, you become an accomplice to it. And that's the quote that Oprah led off with to give her the cover.
Understood. Here's what I've been trying to do with this whole thing, Zen. I've been trying to point out and ask the question. The sentence, no caps, Black Lives Matter, I say that to anyone saying they go, hell yeah, right? Hashtag capital Black Lives Matter is run by Marxist women. They're avowed Marxists. They're on the record, right? So it's bothering me that large organizations that cater to like the whole country, like sports organizations and stuff, they're standing with Black Lives Matter, the movement, which is opposed to the America we know and love. So it's bothering me. But all right,
I can see why.
We're going to take a quick break right here. And then we're going to come back after this, Zen and I, for some more news of the day. Big explosion in Lebanon. We're going to talk about what the ramifications are. And Jess, who has great connections and ancestry to Lebanon, she's going to come on and give us little insights on what's really happening behind the scenes right after this.
For more Liquid Lunch, head over to YouTube, do a search for Liquid Lunch TV, and hit that subscribe button.
Okay, welcome back. We are having a whopper of a day today. I'm having a blast already. If I look a little over-tanned, that's because Nico set the cameras today like a maniac, so bright, so I look like I'm Donald Trump right now.
You're welcome.
Thank you, pal. Jess and Nico, my daughter Ava are over there, working all the behind the scenes, making things great. Overstock $92, Bitcoin 11.7. I told you earlier last week that over 11.3 could go to 15,000. We're just trickling up on the teens there, which is great news. Anybody who wants to know a little more about the Bitcoin or how I can help you in any way, reach out to me, JT at liquidlunchtv.com. Now, Xen Sams joins me again. She's the highlight of my day today, that's for sure. We may have one more special surprise for the audience. That
I think we will, but we have
I'm
to
hoping.
keep it quiet.
Okay. But yesterday, there was this strange explosion in Beirut. And like immediately, like I start thinking like the Israelis bombed them or the Hezbollah bombed something.
Right.
And now they're saying that it was an old munitions factory.
That had explosives contained in it.
I'm not buying it, honestly.
I mean, I think that I buy a portion of the story because you know how they spin everything, right? So you don't know what to believe anymore. We try over here to give you as accurate information as possible. But, you know, look, there's heavily damaged and destroyed warehouses. There's warehouses storing ammonium nitrate. You have all mixed messages. And it could be. That is where...
It looked like a nuke. It looked like a small nuke to me. Did you see the mushroom cloud that went shooting up? It was unbelievable.
The images are very misleading and contradictory to the information.
Yeah? Why is that?
Well, because like you said, the explosion lends itself to something much more suspicious than a mishap.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe like a bunch of fireworks and there's an small explosion, the building goes on fire. They said the earthquake was felt 200 miles away. So in 2 other countries also. So I mean, this was like a powerful explosion.
And calculated because the Mohammed Alamin Mosque was very close to where the explosion took place.
Ah, so then that's another factor. And Donald Trump himself said yesterday that it seems to him like it was some kind of attack.
Yes, I believe it was.
Now, we have an amazing staff here, okay, for the most part. Nico comes in late all the time, but Jess and Ava are on the money. And doing double duty today, Jess has some family members in Lebanon, and she got a little more information than most other shows. Jess, what are you hearing going on down on the ground there in Lebanon with this attack or bombing or accident?
So we know that at least 100 people were killed yesterday in the attack, and at least 4,000 were injured. The earthquake was heard and felt, well, it sounded and felt like an earthquake, and people heard it and felt it in Cyprus, which is an island that's 150 miles away. Now, the Lebanese government has played this off as an accident, which it very well could be, but...
Something fishy in there.
There's something fishy because
what is it?
There's an important UN verdict happening this Friday in Lebanon regarding the killing of an ex-prime minister, Rafik al-Hariri, I think his name is.
He's a Shiite.
Yeah, he was a Shiite ex-prime minister of Lebanon. He was killed in a truck bomb 15 years ago, and the suspects behind this murder are 4 members of Hezbollah who have been terrorizing Lebanon for years. So people are thinking that there may be some connection.
Distraction, try to blow up evidence, they try anything. Yeah, right.
Because it's this Friday and it's...
So it is, that is another coincidental thing, right? 4 Hezbollah members going to get a verdict on Friday, and, somebody tries to blow up half of Beirut.
This was calculated. This was absolutely not chance, and I think that American people know what to believe and what not to believe. And I think if you go back and you look at the patterns and you look at the excuses and the cover-ups historically, you'll be able to very successfully look at the situation. Simple Google will allow you to do that and say, this was planned. This was not an accident.
Yeah, I mean, when I hear this stuff, I don't think many things are accidents. You know what I mean? With so much going on and all the different intelligence, you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? You just, I don't know what's happening, but it seems suspicious. And would you say, Jess, like 100 dead already?
At least 100 dead. But I also wanted to add that I'm from the Middle East and my family was raised in the Middle East. Nothing there is an accident.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really sad.
All right. Well, you know what? You can't do better than that to get some, right on the ground, firsthand knowledge on what's happening in Beirut and all around the Middle East. I brought up the payroll taxes a little earlier, and I want you to pick me apart on this, because I've been, I did Frank Morano's radio show last week, and I'm doing some Newsmax today talking about payroll cuts and stimulus and stuff, right? And the left-wing people who go against me, they immediately say, well, a payroll tax is for these rich business owners, and it doesn't give money to the people who are out of work, right? My argument to that is, with 65% of the workforce being small businesses, if you give them a payroll tax, so that's 14% every payroll period that they don't have to give to the government,
right?
Half of that goes in the currently employed people's pockets, so they get a little bit of a raise, so they're making more. And then the business every month has another 7% in their pocket, so maybe if they're doing a little better coming out of this, they'll hire somebody back.
Yeah.
So instead of paying kids to stay home, maybe pay the business owners to hire them back. That's my 2 cents on it.
You absolutely have to stimulate the economy in some capacity, and to just let things unfold the way they are and the capacity they are is just going to continue. The definition of insanity is doing something over and over again and expecting, different results. It's not going to happen. So this infusion, Donald Trump wanting to stimulate the economy, this is absolutely necessary. Otherwise, we will run out of money. Crazy
gridlock going down in Washington. The Democrats put this crazy thing on the table that we have to defund all police. We have to give 100%. They put so many demands in it.
Don't start with defund the police, because you know how I feel about that.
Right. I'm with you. We got to refund the police, if anything.
I want them keeping me and my child safe. And right now, I don't feel safe when they're not 100% on board with their jobs.
No
we should
doubt
be
about
defunding the DA.
And let's drink to that. All
Wait,
right.
that's a ding.
Tell me, that's a dinger right there. So we only have a minute left, but we got some more segments with just me and you. But me and you you brought it to my attention that Cyrus Vance would not bring a case against one of his wealthy donors and gave him a sweetheart deal when he was alleged sexual harassment and abuser by a number of women, right?
Number of women.
But now he's taking time out of his budget and resources to go after the president's organization. Doesn't that stink?
How interesting and how timely too, because it's great, right? The best defense is a great offense, and that is what Cyrus Vance is great at doing, Cyrus Vance Jr. But right now, turning the tables to direct it to Donald Trump is done in such poor taste, because come on, you've been investigating.
Give the guy a break. It's 3.5 years later. I mean, exactly.
Separate of what Trump stands for and who he is, Cyrus Vance has a job to do, and he's looking in the wrong place. He needs to be going after the criminals.
That's right. I love it. I love when she's here. This is fantastic. All right. We're going to take a quick break right here, okay? We're going to come back and we're going to talk about why is Donald Trump giving Ivanka $35 million to aid human trafficking survivors, I wonder. And our New York City health commissioner resigns. Zen and I break that all down right after this. Stay right there. You're watching Liquid Lunch.
Back on a Women Wednesday here at Liquid Lunch at John Tabacco's very comfortable home with the most incredible view, and I'm loving this. But I want to lead off with a very important story. And Trump gives $35 million to aid human trafficking victims, and this is extremely important because as a woman, as a mom.
That's good news, right?
It's
You know what I mean?
amazing.
This
It's
is a
amazing.
major
It's
worldwide thing.
Huge, huge. So the Trump administration on Tuesday basically announced that $35 million in Justice Department grants to organizations that provide safe housing for victims on human trafficking. And this is a huge step in the right direction. And Ivanka Trump is 100% behind this and supports this. And as a mom and as a woman, and especially here on Women Wednesdays, I echo every sentiment she has. And more importantly, this comes at a very important time because women are being used, misused, trafficked in ways that nobody knows. And especially with the Epstein stories and with the Ghislaine Maxwell stories, it makes me feel extremely vulnerable as a woman that not enough women are stepping up to the plate and saying, hey, this is what's going on and this needs to end. And Donald Trump just did that in one step with Ivanka by giving this amount of money to help further along a cause that is in dire need.
I like it. So
Yeah.
maybe behind the scenes,
Yeah.
I'm going to put on my conspiracy cap for a moment.
Stop it, John.
Tom Hanks
behave
just
yourself.
got his Greek passport. Ellen DeGeneres, talk of her losing her show. Many of these people implicated as supposedly having flown on Epstein's jet. And now suddenly, maybe the news tightens and Donald Trump says, all right, let's bring in all these kids that were sex trafficked, let's take them down. And then, you know, the Child Health Services says, well, quite frankly, there's so many of them, we don't have enough housing.
Exactly.
So then he says, all right, well, here's 35 million. Let's get him some
Let's sign a
housing.
check.
No, let's get him some housing.
Yeah.
Let's get him some food, shelter,
Yeah.
psychological help. And it seems like they're expecting a ramp up if they're allocating 35 million for
But
it.
that's how easily it was done because, you know, when you speak to a father and you speak to a mother and you speak to a person that has values separate of politics, and when you see Donald Trump do this without a second thought, I mean, we know that the president has stopped and paused for a lot of decisions.
Yep.
And retracted.
Yes.
But in this particular case, he moved forward and he signed it without even blinking. Ding. Okay, that said.
There she goes. Oh, you see,
Okay,
we're
so
becoming
that-
good
see, I'm
partners
on-
already. She's already instructing me what to do.
So that said, all I'm saying is that Ivanka Trump, Donald Trump, this is extremely needed. You know, the Attorney General William Barr and Presidential Advisor Ivanka Trump announced at the awards at White House event attended by human trafficking victims and organizations that they were going to serve them, but they also said that this trafficking method and this entire process is an evil scourge. And it is, and he thanked President Donald Trump for his contributions because without that kind of money and that kind of resource, this will never be put to an end. And this trafficking will continue. And that's your daughter, and that's your best friend, and that's your cousin. And you need to start to think about that.
Yeah, no. I mean, I never realized. I mean, I've heard about it and all this other stuff. I never realized it. But Donald Trump's even been saying that's one of the reasons that he wants more border security because, you know, these Mexican cartels are supposedly making more money these days by trafficking humans, kids and humans, than they are selling yayo. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they're making more money in the sex trafficking business, and it's scary. And I don't know if you saw the show yesterday. We had some technical difficulties. We had a power outage. There was a big storm
I
here
watch
and all
every
sorts of
show,
stuff.
every
But did you know that for like years, Disney Cruises had a stop off at Epstein Island for kids' day snorkeling trips? That's
No,
fact. That's
I
fact.
saw it on the show, the orgy island.
No, yeah, supposedly the pedo island or whatever they called it. Disney actually had their cruise
I don't know
line
if they knew
stop
that they
there
were
for
stopping there,
snorkeling.
though.
Well, I would think that a major corporation
Should
like
do their
Disney
research.
would do their research. They got to
I agree.
insure people for going to the island. Hey, who owns this thing that we're going to
Okay,
here for
so if we go
snorkeling?
after Disney for not doing their research, they lost me as a mom.
Yeah, okay.
If we go after Disney for
I'm not going after
human
Disney.
error,
Disney's
no,
Disney.
you know what?
You know what I mean?
If their boat stopped at Orgy Island, you kind of could go after Disney.
I mean, we have proof that that happened. So we're not. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It was advertised on the Disney website.
But that's disturbing.
It was a 2-stop snorkeling trip where they
That's
take you to. Oh,
disturbing.
here we go. Where they take you to one island for snorkeling,
Are
and
you
then
serious?
our second stop.
Okay, I
is
did
at
not know
Epstein
fully
Island.
about this
Yeah.
story. See, and
They
as a
stop
mom right
at
now, I'm highly disturbed.
Epstein, Nico, read the last
can't
two
see
lines
that.
about Epstein Island. So, because this is great, because this is out there.
This
The
is
last
great.
two lines when it says, you know, the second stop.
I can't read it.
He doesn't know how to read. Oh my God, this is unbelievable.
Oh,
He
Jess,
doesn't-
Jess,
the guy
can you read
doesn't
that
have-
for us,
anyway,
please?
It names 2 different islands
No, it's
that they
definitely
take
one of the
people on a
islands.
trip, and they go to Little St. James.
You got it? Jess is going
Jess,
to read
can you
it.
read it into the mic,
Jess
please?
coming in on
I
Women
want people to hear
Wednesday.
this, because Zen didn't even know about
No, I
this.
didn't. I
Yeah.
had no idea. This is terrible.
Be whisked away aboard the captain's RAB powerboat to a pair of sun-soaked snorkeling sites and prepare for an adventure like no other. Journey to picturesque Turtle Cove Buck Island and immerse yourself in an underwater wonderland where you're invited to swim and snorkel amidst a school of sea turtles for approximately 1 hour. Afterward, make your way to your second snorkel stop, Little St. James Island, where curious fish dart back and forth in the clear blue water, and etc.
No, read the last sentence, please. After snorkeling.
Clear blue water and colorful coral formations nestle next to amazing underwater formations. Afterward, enjoy a beverage. Where'd it go?
Yeah. Afterwards, enjoy a beverage.
Enjoy a beverage and snack before making your way back to St. Thomas Harbor.
Come
Wow.
on down, kiddies. You done snorkeling? Come down for a little chocolate milk. Here
John,
we go.
You need to control yourself.
All right.
But we're going to bring him back in,
Listen,
right? No.
that's true. That's 100%
I get, okay.
true. And it just, it strikes me as strange.
Okay, but Disney didn't know they were stopping there.
I guess.
can't imagine the captain was like, ding, 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 let's go there and take the kids there. Like, that didn't happen.
All right. Well, you never know. I mean,
come
Joe
on.
Biden's brother owns the island right next door.
Okay.
It's
All right.
called Water Island.
All right, that
and
segment
they have a submarine that
next
goes back
week.
and forth.
Segment.
Our audience loves when
Oh my goodness,
when
John.
I examine this stuff. All
When
right,
you-
all
do
right,
you have
I'm
a
gonna
refill
stop.
over there?
I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna stop it. No, I'm not. Okay.
No.
Right here in New York City and New York State, the worst hit state in the country, possibly the worst hit area in the world, as a single unit per capita, right?
Yeah.
Our New York City health commissioner, who answers to this guy right behind me, I don't know if you could see him, this guy, Warren Wilhelm, the mayor of New York.
Yeah.
She resigned yesterday.
She did.
Dr. Osiris Barbeau resigned and voiced her deep disappointment with Mayor de Blasio's handling of the pandemic, renewing her scrutiny of his leadership during the crisis and the decisions he's made and about how quickly to reopen schools and business. She is our #1 person on health and says this guy's a knucklehead.
And she just took a step back. Yeah, that's, let me tell you, very reassuring for me as a mom. I'm like, what?
Right,
What do
who's
you-
the
what-
health
what-
commissioner
what-
now in the
Yeah,
middle
I'm like,
of the
what just
pandemic?
happened? Like, how does that even, this makes absolute no sense to me. And this is why, again, I'm losing bit by bit faith in the authorities that be. These things are just not acceptable, John.
No, it's crazy. I mean,
So, let's go back.
yeah, let's go back.
Why,
We're gonna go
why
way
is
back.
this? Why has she resigned? And after she clashes with the mayor, well, look, clashing with the mayor is
Everybody
not,
clashes with this guy.
Everybody clashes with the
He's
mayor.
the worst guy around.
That's not a story, but I mean that's a thing. It's more of, so what are the deep-rooted issues? Because look, NYC did go from worst to first. Let's give the tri-state area and New York City that, right? Ding, right there. So we did do that, and Cuomo and De Blasio, separate of their very opposing views on how to delegate and their infrastructure and how to get this place to where we need to be back to pre-coronavirus. I feel like because there's such a rift between Cuomo and De Blasio, and because De Blasio continues to just fumble on everything serious, literally, he just like, sorry, was that me? Yeah,
no,
that was you who said it, did it, and ordered it.
It's unbelievable the way these two guys, they're like Heckle and Jekyll. You know what I mean?
It's like
One
itchy
does
and
one,
scratchy.
back and forth.
It's itchy and scratchy.
But for those of you living here in New York, the capital of the world, as you come into our second hour today of Liquid Lunch, know this: we have no health commissioner in the middle of the worst pandemic, supposedly, since 1927 or something like that. Xen, unfortunately, well, fortunately for our viewers, but for me, we have a guest in the next segment, and it's not going to be just you and I anymore.
Well, it's not, and so we definitely like to offer up the third participant. But you know what? Also, Osiris Barbosa's departure came after escalating tensions with City Hall, that they were going to defund her her tracing program.
Unbelievable. All right, Jonathan Jakubowski is going to be here right after this. He's the author of The Bellwether Blues, A Conservative Awakening of the Millennial Soul.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Danino's, the arugula pie, white arugula pie with fresh grated Parmesan. This is the margarita pie, it's beauty. This is the clam pie. Danino's is famous for the clam pie. Delicious.
All right, welcome back. Just buzzing through this first hour of a wicked Woman Wednesday edition of Liquid Lunch on Biz TV. I'm John Tabacco. I am joined again by my co-host for the whole 2 hours today. Xen Sams is with me. Xen, the market is still doing well. I've been watching this like 27,000 number as like another benchmark. If it gets above there and hangs around for a little bit, it's called support. And I think if Trump does some things with executive action on payroll tax, the market could really fly again. So I'm liking that.
He will do it, and the market will fly, and I'm all about NYC
Wow.
forever, and NYC controls a lot of our market, and
Love
it's
it.
going to bounce back.
I love it. All right, Bitcoin for all my crypto lovers out there. Bitcoin today, 11,671 on a roll, up almost $500. So keep your eyes peeled on that one. Lots of great things to happen. Now, you know, in the middle of all this craziness, I've been talking a lot on the show for months now and years personally, that there's this silent majority out there. These people that they work 9 to 5, they go to their kids' Little League game, they're in the PTA, and they don't have time to go to protests and rallies and all this other stuff, Zen. You know, you face all this stuff, right?
I do.
Our next guest, Jonathan Jakubowski, joins us. He's the author of The Bellwether Blues, A Conservative Awakening of the Millennial Soul. And it really seems like even if you're not a full conservative, it's a time where the silent majority sees such a contrast that I feel like people are awakening who don't usually speak up. What do you think?
Absolutely. Well, John, thanks for having me on your show. First of all, it's an honor and a privilege. Very grateful that you would have me on. I definitely think there's truth to the silent majority, and I look at it from the vantage point of swing counties. So in the United States, we have 3,142 counties nationwide, and there are only 59 that meet the designation as being swing, as having voted for Bush in 2000, 2004, Obama 2008, 2012, and Trump in 2016. And my county, Wood County, happens to be one of those swing counties. So in the swing county context, there's a lot of silent voters that are out there that really are going to decide who's going to win the 2020 presidential election race, as we saw in 2016. And I made the bold thesis as I investigated the millennial generation, my generation. I wanted to see how did they vote in 16? What were their voting persuasions? So that's really what led to the genesis of Bellwether Blues.
Zen?
You know what, Jonathan, I am so intrigued with your background and with your inspiration for even researching this. And can you tell me a little bit more about the Bellwether Blues and how you have decided to, number one, figure out that this is an actual thing, because it is. And is the discrepancy coming from I don't want to say that I'm a Trump supporter, or is the discrepancy coming from I don't have enough time?
Well, as I looked at the data, one of the things that I knew inherently being a millennial is that there were a lot of millennials that didn't fit the stereotype. You know, the stereotypical millennial who's in the basement until 45, who's out there tearing down statues, is woke. You know, I knew a lot of millennials that didn't fit that stereotype, and I wondered, is there empirical evidence to back that? Well, what I found as a result of that research is that the left has gone so far left of center. They've gone all the way away from freedom, the classical liberalism, the tenets of it that Thomas Jefferson and James Madison would have stood for, that in their abandonment of those principles, they left a whole bunch of millennial voters who would otherwise be predisposed to voting in their direction. And now these millennials are skeptical, they're disillusioned, they're frustrated. In other words, they've caught a case of the blues. That's why I titled the book Bellwether Blues. But that doesn't mean that these voters are necessarily embracing conservative principles. They're not necessarily going for, candidates of a specific party. They're kind of in the middle. And what I did is used that knowledge and that empirical evidence to go deeper into a swing county, again, Wood County, to understand what were the things that were happening on the ground in swing counties. So I look at 7 stories of 7 millennials in Wood County who did change their votes. They went all the way across. They voted for Obama, then changed their voting persuasion to Trump. And not all of them necessarily liked Trump, but they voted for him because of certain principles that they were awakened to.
It's pretty amazing when I look at it and I see that Donald Trump, on a percent basis, he really made some gains that were unheard of, even coming into office with the African-American community. And then he was winning on all fronts. Best employment in the African-American community, best small business starts in the African-American and minority community, most home ownership increases. And when you look at this stuff, it's almost like when Joe Biden says, if you don't know who you're voting for, then you ain't black. It makes sense to me that even the African-American and minority numbers are being underreported because people are kind of getting shamed by the lamestream media into saying that they like a guy who's helped their community more than anybody in history, except maybe Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, I definitely saw a movement like that. Blexit is the term that's used, blacks exiting from the left, Lexit, Latinos exiting from the left. Well, in Wood County and in Bellwether Blues, there are a couple of stories of black voters who changed their voting persuasions. And I looked at their stories and analyzed what was it that led them to change. One of them was from inner city Cleveland, grew up with a father and a mother in the home, and then moved to Bowling Green, Ohio to go to university. And through the process of raising his own family, one of the things that's, I think, a misnomer about millennials is that they're all on college campuses. Not anymore. Millennials are now aged between 24 and 39 years of age. So we're starting to have families. We're entering into the job market. We're starting to pay taxes. Well, in Aaron Lawrence's life, who was from inner city Cleveland, he started seeing these things and realized that the way that he voted had a direct impact on the future of his children. And that's what led to his awakening. What I did find throughout all of the stories, John, is that in every one of them, there was a mentor that stepped into their life. Every single one of them had individuals that came into the picture who helped them understand more about why voting matters and really cared for them and invested into their lives.
Amazing.
And one of my critiques,
Jonathan,
really, of the
let me tell you, in the last 60 seconds, do you feel that there is a hidden Trump voter? Do you feel that exists somewhere, and where is that hidden Trump voter?
Well, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them in these swing counties, and I think they're coming out in mass. We had 7,000 yard sign requests in 2016 in a place where there were only 64,000 votes. Those sign requests are only increasing as we've seen so far. So they're on the perimeter of Wood County. They're in swing counties throughout the country, and I think we're going to see more and more of them as we get close to November.
Hey, Jonathan, it's John Tabacco. I'm good friends with John McLaughlin. He was one of the only pollsters that got it right, and he was digging into these swing counties, and that's why Trump was making these last-minute jaunts into, these small places in Minneapolis and Michigan and all over the place. That's what really won it, those small counties. Do you have some info on sign requests and anything like that? Maybe you could come back with us every week and give us some little update on how that's going?
He will check back in soon, but I think we're out of time.
All right.
I think we're out of time right now.
Jonathan Jakubowski, thank you very much. He's the author of Bellwether Blues, A Conservative Awakening of the Millennial Soul. And you got to go to bellwetherbluesbook.com and Amazon, Apple, all those other things. But if you go to bellwetherbluesbook.com, then you won't get hit with the Amazon fees. So buy it direct. And
double ding.
We'll check back with you soon, Jonathan. Thanks so much.
Thanks, John. Thanks, them.
Bye. Take care, Jonathan.
Right. You stay right there. Don't go anywhere. We're going to rip it up an hour or two coming up right after this.
Welcome back, folks.
I've been taking my makeup off every day with the coronavirus wipes. I'm still corona free.
Establishment ones, it seems like they try to sort of.
Oh, hello. Stop. There you are. How are you? I feel like Arthur. Hey, how are you? All right. It's so hot in here. And then on top of it, Nico and I are outnumbered because we're surrounded by women, which is like most of the planet. It is a Woman Wednesday, so that's a good thing. Because we love getting the woman's perspectives. And thank you for spending 2 whole hours with me. That's very big of you.
My pleasure.
All right, the markets are raging. Overstock's going nuts. I don't even want to brag about that anymore. Zen.
Yes.
I personally have put on a significant amount of fat weight during the quarantine, during this whole corona bunker thing.
I can't see it though. Come on, stop.
Well, because I got my Spanx on, first of all, okay? So it doesn't look that way when I do the double Spanx in the morning. It keeps this button from popping.
Are you really wearing Spanx
But
right now?
I also, I live next door to my mom, so I'm actually eating more home-cooked food
than
when I have a liquid lunch and then a liquid dinner and then liquid whatever.
Yeah, no,
you know
I mean,
and
if you live next door to mom, forget it. You're gaining weight.
So I'm eating like a cow. And my friend Carl Townsend from Echo World Communications said, JT, you look like you're getting a little hefty there.
He called you out on it?
You're blessed by God, and you gotta keep that
he's
stuff
a good
going.
friend. He's a good friend.
And he said, you know what? I want to do something for you and your viewers. I'm going to start giving you some medical stuff, health stuff to give away.
And what does he?
And he's like a master of telemedicine. I don't know if you saw Trump talking about yesterday this telehealth.
No,
that the government is spending billions of dollars to get people to see their doctors from home. They're giving people free laptops and all this other stuff. So Echo World is in that.
Making sure you stay on top of your health.
So Carl said, hey, for a little gag, Johnny, I'm going to give your viewers who follow or leave a message or, demonstrate some interest in winning a free prize.
Okay.
I'm going to give away a free deluxe Innotech medical scale. Okay, and
this is the scale we saw at the beginning, and now we're going to see it again.
That's right.
And now remember, this scale calls you out when you've gained weight.
That's right. It's Bluetooth enabled. It
I'm not
to
sure
your
I'm
phone.
on board with this. I'm just telling you.
You can export your readings. So, like, if your wife says, "Hey, I want to watch your weight. I'm careful of you."
This could be problems.
All right.
This could be major problems for an American household. Imagine my husband gets on a scale every day and it goes, "You've gained 3 pounds." You know what I'm going to say? Really? Are you serious? You just gained 3 more pounds? That's a fight waiting to erupt.
That's actually good because women, as you know, usually control the household.
We do.
And if the wife is getting the readings, you say,
wife,
hey,
happy life.
That's right. Hey, you wanna get all fat and everything? I need you around for a while. So that make 65% of the households in America, the women make the financial decisions.
It's true. It's very true.
So,
and speaking about women making financial decisions, you know who I follow on Instagram? Kimberly Guilfoyle. She cooks, and let me tell you, I saw her Dominican rice and beans the other day on Instagram. Kimberly, let me tell you, Kimberly is on it.
Wow.
Cooking, making
we have
rules, decisions. She's on it.
We have, we have quite the community of loyal viewers and followers, and our numbers on like social media are growing. Like Jess is handling the social, and the numbers are going crazy. Our views are going up. We had like 50,000 viewers or reaches or something on last month on YouTube.
Our segment got 11,000 on Vance, and I literally posted in the middle of the night and thought nothing of it.
There you go. And some of our really solid supporters like Susan and Amal and Marianne Cimino and Rita and my mom, and Mesa, Jess's mom.
I love you.
They're all taken to posting like these beautiful food dishes and everything.
Yes.
I'm thinking about doing a food show actually with our fans, like every week a little recipe or something.
Women and food and kids. You got the perfect combo. Everybody shares those stories.
No doubt about it. And I've been saying this since the beginning of the quarantine. America is basic foundations are in the 3 F's: faith, family, and food. If you got all three of them, you're in good shape. We're going to give you a lot more food for thought right after this. We take a quick break and come back with some, what do we have? Dr. Lisa Berlin is going to be here from Parents Anonymous. We'll take a quick break, come back at you right after this. All right, welcome back. I am having so much fun today. It is a wicked edition of Woman Wednesday, and usually I have Xen Sams on me on Wednesdays, and then she comes up with some great topics other days and everything. But today she's with me for the whole 2 hours, so it's a special treat for you out there. Dow's up 300, Bitcoin's up 500. Everything is coming up roses today in your portfolio, so don't even think about that. But you know what? This whole thing with the kids going back to school, and Zen, you have a child. I have 3 kids. One's in high school, 2 are in college, and it's like, it's literally stressful on these kids. And to break down what's happening.
On these kids? What about on us?
Yeah, forget about that. That's why I drank a half a bottle of Macallan already on today's show. But our next guest, Dr. Lisa Pine Berlin, PhD, President and CEO at Parents Anonymous, Inc., knows this stuff better than anyone. She's a PhD, she's a president, she's got more titles than the 2 of us combined, which is big. But Doc, the COVID stress, we've had other, emergency sociologists and people that say like that some of the mental effects on these kids losing their, social contacts and going to school is almost worse than the infection rate to kids. Give us a little way that we can give emotional support to these kids and their families and stuff.
Well, good afternoon. It's a really important topic, and you both as parents are sitting here today working and dealing with the day-to-day issues at home. I think we can't get away with. We got to embrace it is the first thing. We offer a helpline. That's the first place. People should be able to pick up the phone, send an email, and reach out for help. And oftentimes you can't turn to your family or friends. So parents are human beings first. So we as humans need to figure out what's pushing our buttons, what's going on, so we can be there for our kids. Yes.
So, hey Doc, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we love our audience is like really rabid. They're like loyal, and I like to always give them little trinkets to help them educate them, create awareness. You said you have a helpline. Can you give out the number just in case anybody's watching wants it?
1-855-427-2736. You can also remember it is 1-855-4-A-PARENT, but you can also have young people call it. You can text us. You can leave us an email, leave us a voicemail.
Amazing. All right, that's wonderful.
Now, there are also resources on our website because people are struggling. This kid is doing this, and they never did this before. So the different ages your children are and how each child is responding is different. They're all not the same. As human beings, we don't respond the same. Some kid might say, oh, I just talk to my friends whenever. Another kid may be clinging with you, crying.
Zen,
so you need to tune into your kids.
Zen, aside from being an entrepreneur, philanthropist, model, all this other stuff, you're a super mom. You took your kids to Canada at first. But I know you big, Upper West Siders. You put your kids in the summer, Upper East Siders.
Yes,
put your kids in the summer camps and all this other stuff. As a mom, are you having some anxiety about even putting your kid in camp?
I have to say, I personally, in my own bubble, do not have any anxiety about sending my kid back to school or putting her at camp when I make the decision to do that in a facility that I feel is adequate and socially distant and complies with the rules. So I don't have anxiety about that. But what I do have anxiety about is exactly what Dr. Berlin is covering, where you have parents that are human beings, and we need our time and we need our space and we need our moments, and we're all working professionals, and I worry about me not being able to give enough of my emotional availability to my child, because right now I'm in my bubble and I'm doing my thing, and although I'm all about Alexa and she's my everything, I worry that I'm not there enough for her the way that I was able to be there for her pre-pandemic, just like you were able to be there for your kids, because we had a set routine. We were able to know that our kids were in school 9 to 3, and then we had an extra 2 hours of aftercare. Now
that's all thrown off.
That's
all thrown off.
We are literally
Dr. Lisa,
trying to figure it out. Please help us, Dr. Berlin.
Dr. Berlin, I know your organization, Parents Anonymous, is based in LA. You guys are a nonprofit, and you're there for parents too, dealing with like what Zen's talking about. It's actually a jar to the routine of parents. What can parents do and learn simple tips to get themselves over some of the fear, fright, and hysteria?
Well, I think you both nailed it. I mean, the first thing is recognize how you're doing. Okay, how are you responding to this first? Because you're first, before you're a parent, you're a human being. I can't say that enough. We want to throw ourselves, like you said, you know, everything for our kids. Well, you know what? Then you won't be there. If you're not there for yourself, you need to figure out what is your sanity. And you just call me Dr. Lisa. Nobody can pronounce my last name. Okay, it's just Dr. Lisa.
I love that.
And cut yourself a break, Sen. You know, you have a little one. We got to cut ourselves a break. People were so worried what happened between March and June, the school year, if your kids were in school. Forget about it. Whatever happened, happened. Kids will bounce back. They will be resilient. But how are we as parents resilient? So if you don't reach out, I mean, maybe you don't have a friend or a family member you can talk to.
I don't have any friends. I don't have any friends.
You know
I've been locked up in my house for 4 months. I'm so lonely.
Stop it right
I'm
now.
so sad. I'm
John
broken.
Tabacco.
Thank God my daughters come over and
I
bring me
know.
Dunkin' Donuts and stuff. Otherwise, I would be broken by
You have
now.
a telephone, don't you? You have a telephone?
Yeah, I'm joking around. Dr. Lisa, let me ask you this. We have on this show already as regulars Dr. Bobby. She's awesome. Dr. Gina. Dr. Natalie. We do not have a Dr. Lisa. So will you join us as one of our regular doctors on the show?
Absolutely.
Because we don't have Lisa taken, so you got to claim it right now.
You got to claim the L.
Nico booked some other Dr. Lisa, and then we're going to have to call you Dr. Pie in Berlin.
No, just call me Dr. Lisa.
Yeah.
Nobody calls me Pie in Berlin.
And you know what, Dr. Lisa, here's my issue. As a woman on Women Wednesday, I have to say, and I think you're gonna feel for what I'm trying to express here, that there's so many working moms out there, whether they're in the medical world, whether they're teachers, whether they're in the industry of arts and entertainment. All we want to do is see a smile on our child's face. And when this pandemic hit, nobody was prepared. And separate of not being prepared, every routine was disrupted. So this is extremely helpful and extremely important. I just want to thank you for letting me feel like I'm not failing as a parent because I don't have the amount of time to give that I did before, and it's trying to juggle it all.
I saw.
One thing you can do for yourself, a few suggestions for yourself to do.
Yeah.
Is laugh out loud as much as you can. The science is very clear. Even fake laughing changes our brain chemistry. Smile, even when you don't want to smile, see you're laughing now. That's exactly right. Keep doing that. They done test upon test. They say, oh no, it has to be a real laugh. No, it doesn't.
You know what?
You can't hug anybody else, hug yourself.
Dr. Lisa, listen
to
this. A good friend of mine, Frank Morano, gave me a tip. We used to do radio, and he said, when you're talking into the mic, smile, because the listeners can hear you smiling. So, and it actually does, by changing the muscle memory on the smile on your face, actually inhibits you in ways where you actually perform better when you're smiling to yourself.
Exactly. And even if you don't feel like smiling or laughing out loud, and I'll tell you, Zen, if you start laughing with your daughter, she's going to start laughing and think, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Isn't laughing contagious? Even when you look smiling now over the screen to me, it's contagious.
Yep.
I feel good inside, you feel good. Doing anything that makes you feel good first. Even when you reach out and help another person, in Parents Anonymous, we say, in the giving you get. Every time you're nice to somebody else, the first thing you feel is better about yourself. You feel good inside, and that fuels us all as human beings. And that's what makes us different than other
Dr.
animals.
Lisa, you are amazing. Thank you so much for your contributions on Liquid Lunch. You are so inspirational, and this is such a great opportunity to hear your voice and hear you speak in your expertise. Please join us again. Thank you so much.
Doc, thank you so much. And we're going to send you over the Venmo for doing exactly what I asked you to tell Zen to laugh, even if I'm not funny. I appreciate. That's exactly what we needed here. You did it. You did it perfect for me. But no.
I just want to make another pitch. We always can take donations so we can expand our services.
All right. Hey, give us your website before we go. Give us your website.
Parentsanonymous.org. It's really it's a name
very
they came
simple.
up.
Okay.
Dr. Lisa, on Instagram, why don't you tag me at Xen Sams, and then as a micro-influencer, I'll help repurpose your story.
Please
Xen
put up the
Sams.
helpline number everywhere you can.
I will.
All right. Go to. You guys out there, if you're having any issues, parents, kids, anyone, go to 855-427-2736 or 1-855-4-A-PARENT. And somebody's going to be on the other end to give you a little pick-me-up, and that's what you might need right here. You're going to get a pick-me-up right after this when we're joined by someone who was a prosecutor and then wound up being a federal prisoner. I'm going to talk about that right after this. All right, welcome back. Ooh, my slip is showing. That's my earpiece. Sorry about that. All right, just breezing through hour 2 here. We got a couple of big surprise guests coming up, okay? And right here in this segment, we are going to take a look into some little more outlandish conspiracy theories. My partner Xen Sams is working on a breaking story, and she's going to join me momentarily. If she so pleases. Now, Nico, you guys and myself are spending a lot of time post-show talking about these different rabbit hole things that we like to talk about. Now, I tied together today that while many of the people in the QAnon 4chan world are saying that they're going to round up all these Hollywood elites, and Ellen's show is potentially going to be canceled, and Tom Hanks has got a Greek passport, and how does that tie into Donald Trump allocating $35 million for housing for sex trafficking? I don't know how all of that comes together. But it seems like there is mounting evidence of that. Nico?
Yes, I would agree.
Okay. Do you have any things that you want me to talk about? Any videos or?
I think right now what we should do is.
Yeah, what should we do?
Does Zen want to come back in? Yeah. I think we should talk a little bit about what we saw on Biden.
Oh, okay. That sounds great.
What Biden?
So, Zen, thank you for rejoining me. She's working on some breaking news.
You know, always working behind the scenes, exclusive
Donald
footage.
Trump was on with Chris Wallace last week on Fox News. He was talking about they gave him this, intelligence test, and he passed with flying colors. He got 100%, and all the MSNBC and all the other media channels were like mocking him. Now, Joe Biden was asked about if he would take the test. Take a look what he said. I want to get your thoughts on it. So I know you're fair. You're objective.
I want to hear. I want to hear and see this.
Let's see what he said.
Taken a cognitive test.
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying before you got in this program, if you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say to President Trump, who brags about his test and makes your mental state an issue for voters?
Well, if he can't figure out the difference between an elephant and a lion, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Did you watch that? Look, come on, man. I know you're trying to goad me, but I mean, I'm so forward looking to have an opportunity to sit with the president or stand with the president in debates. There's going to be plenty of time. And by the way, as I joke with him, I shouldn't say it. I'm going to say something I probably shouldn't say. Anyway, I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness.
Wow.
My
physical.
Okay, can I
my
just
physical.
Stop right now. That was a Saturday Night Live skit.
That wasn't. That was
no,
really
that
Joe
was.
Biden.
I know, but it was.
I know. I'm with you, but I'm
Wow.
saying we engage in political satire here.
Wow.
I sometimes take clips out of context and joke around with it, and I let the audience know, nah, I was just kidding.
That was 100% valid.
That was 100%
and
valid.
And the accuracy of that footage is verified all over the internet and the news, and that is 100% disgraceful.
CBS television. The guy.
For all the times
Stuff happens all the time.
For all the times President Trump has fumbled, do we really think that we can endorse that? I mean,
he kind of tried to like threaten the guy back a little bit. He said, whoa. You want me to take an intelligence test? Me, Joe Biden?
No, but it doesn't even matter.
Are you a junkie? He said to the guy, did they give you a cocaine test before you came on?
But he didn't seem coherent. Never in history have I seen President Donald Trump feel intoxicated. He might go off on his rambles and rants and does what he does, and we all know what he does, right? And I'm very, very unbiased. Like I'm very objective to these things, and I'm going to say that President Trump has oftentimes gone off on a rant. But what I just saw, was not even acceptable, because as a mom, when I look at this and I see somebody rambling and not even seeming coherent, I feel like you definitely can't run the country, even if you don't make sense. Right now, you're on something.
I think he's on some like anti-dementia.
It doesn't matter. He can't run the country.
He's obviously not.
It's not working.
Sane. No, it's definitely.
You know
not
what?
working,
And even for those people who say the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know, I'm just going to say that out loud. I've been a mom for about 4.5 years biologically, and the only thing I care about is her future. And right now, I'm feeling very uncertain.
I think the choice is simple. As Joe Biden pointed out a couple of months ago with Lawrence McKelvey, a.k.a. Charlemagne the God, convicted sex offender, or pled guilty to sex offenses. He said, if you are thinking about me or Trump, you ain't black. You know what I mean? That's what Biden said. That's what he said. So this is another statement.
This is the card we're going to play over and over again when we don't have an out. What?
The guy is completely and utterly disturbed, as far as I'm concerned.
Because that's the card you play when you don't have an out, and that's the classless way. And separate of that, if you have enough understanding of the situation and you know that you can control a situation, you don't come up with that kind of rhetoric.
You don't want to hear that rhetoric.
You don't. No, you just don't.
You don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear about Charlemagne the God.
It makes you feel like you just don't want to be on board with anything, that's being.
All right, I was just reporting the facts. That's what happened. Yeah. That's what Joe Biden said to Charlemagne. So I think he makes these blanket statements sometimes, like when he asked this guy if he's on cocaine. He kind of makes blanket statements that make it seem like he doesn't have an understanding of the micro issues that are important to
and there's a lot of micro issues that America responds to. They respond to the micro issues because that's the American people.
I'm with you on that. All right. I'm sorry to make you mad.
I got upset. It hit close to home. Like, it made me mad. I'm a mom.
All right. You know what? Today, I thought we would add a little terrestrial Tuesday or extraterrestrial Tuesday.
I totally believe in aliens, by the way.
Or spiritual Tuesday. Oh, we're not going to have Elena Servideo Schwinn.
No. Elena Servideo Schwinn
after Frank
is coming on, and we have a special guest that she might invite from the dead, potentially, as she is a medium.
Ooh, wow. Let's ask her if she can get Jeffrey Epstein dialed up for us.
Is he really dead?
That's exactly who we're channeling.
Is he really
I don't think he's dead. I honestly don't think he's dead.
He's hiding in some hole for sure.
We're going to find out today.
He's hiding in the same Harvey Weinstein hole.
Elena Servideo Schmidt has been on the show, Schwinn has been on the show many, many times. She's a dear friend of mine. She read me the first time I met her like a book. The first time. She didn't know one thing about me. I'm very cynical of this stuff. She read me like a book.
No.
She started talking about how my father was in the spirit. She knew right
stop.
away.
You're freaking me out because I'm all about this stuff. Like, this is where my whole thing lives.
We're going to take a quick break.
Really?
I'm going to come
I get
back
to
and we're
meet
going to
her?
go deep into the spirit world with the medium and possibly a large.
This is
right
huge.
after this.
Getting hot in here.
Okay, welcome back. We are just breezing through hour 2 of a wicked, fire-breathing dragon of a Woman Wednesday episode. And I have to tell you, it's been quite some time since I've been a medium. Maybe when my mom was buying me garanimals, I was a medium. I might have been a husky for a little while. But when we want to go deep into the universe, into the spirits, we bring in my one and only spiritual advisor, Elena Servideo Schwinn joins us. They used to call it a New Jersey. Are you back in New Jersey?
I will always and forever be the New Jersey medium.
She's the New
But right
Jersey
now-
medium. All right, there we go.
Go, Elena! You know,
Let's
I
not
just
get it-
purchased a
once
home in
Jersey
Norwood.
Girl, always a Jersey girl.
That's right.
Elena, I just purchased a home in Norwood, so now I'm a separate of the Upper East Side in New York City, where I've lived forever. Now I'm a New Jersey homeowner, so I'm very excited. And now I want to talk to you even more because we share a common state.
Absolutely. There's no place in the world like New Jersey, no matter where you go. New Jersey, New York really has it going.
Definitely. All right, so Elena, you have been on the show with me almost from day one. You know, in the beginning, I was very skeptical of people who talk about spirits and dead people and all this other stuff.
Really?
But the minute I saw you, you brought me a stone that day, which I still have. And the first thing you said to me, not knowing me at all, is that your father is here. So you knew, like right off the bat, that my father was in the spirit world. So I always said, for all the charlatans out there, for some reason, I really believe Elena knows what she's doing. So I love you for that.
Thank you. I love you too.
Now, and I always get great energy, even when we talk on Instagram Messenger or whatever. You're always a positive influence. Thank you for that. Now, I want to ask you if you can give us any insights at all on, and I know this isn't your specialty, but maybe you could channel into some former dead presidents or something and give us some sample of what might happen between Trump, Biden. Who did the Mount Rushmore guys want?
You know, I do the lives on every Monday night on Instagram with people from around the world. You know that. And what's going on right now, honest to God, is a hot mess. I mean, it's a disaster. I mean, it's common sense with that. But the next 4 to 6 months, it's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse, and it's getting worse on purpose. It's not like any one of these things is not planned or it's strategy because of what happened. Everything with when they tried to get him impeached and they couldn't get him impeached. So now anything and everything that they can throw at him, they will. We already know what's going to happen. And no offense to anybody else in the world, you know, because for me, I deal with everybody. But Trump's getting back in. He is.
Wow.
Right now, he's actually, he is. So I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be, and there's a reason. And I said before, Biden is truly not relevant or a relevant candidate. And he's not going to be able to cut it, and nobody's going to be able to trust that he's going to do it. So now everything's going to get very smart with what comes from the Republican side. But regardless, the state of affairs in our world is going to get worse. It's not getting any better. This is worldwide. It's not just here. So what I'm trying to focus on people, whether they believe it or not, if you're smart and you decide to be a visionary, this is the time for visionaries and people to draw on their abundance and create. Because anybody smart is going to work around the craziness that's going involved, not get pulled in and become part of their plan. So at the end of everything, in 4 to 6 months, when the dust settles a little bit, they're going to be on top and not stuck in the middle of all the bullshit and garbage that's going on.
Elena, that's a very interesting perspective. It's great that you comment on not just from your unique ability to channel you know,
Well,
that
she knows what the energy of the universe is. It's not. It's
amazing
not that she's a political commentator.
No,
But,
no.
oh,
But my question to you is, from an energy perspective, when you hear, and we're faced with really down to two, Biden and Trump.
Your 1 second. I'm sorry. Your mic is so low. It's so hard for me to hear you right now.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
And I don't want to miss what you're saying.
Let's raise Zen's mic.
Okay, so when you are looking at the presidential candidates that you are currently faced with, and you have Joe Biden and you have President Donald Trump, and you're looking at them from a woman's perspective, from a woman's energy, wanting to channel the things that are important to women. You know what? It matters to me what is going on the political front. But what matters to me even more is what's happening on a mom and a woman front. And so my question is, when you advise and when you channel this energy, how does it make you feel from a woman's perspective and a mom and a mother of where we will be in the next, decade under the current president, who I hope we can, the status quo is what it is, and I hope we can keep it as such.
Okay, you have to understand, I am a mom. I am a mom of 5 children, and I'm straight old school. My views, I am a liberal. I bleed purple, but I lean towards the red kind of thing. Right now, what's happening in the world is, the good thing about the situation is the fact that it's forcing people to go back to their families, going back to start depending on things that are more important. And when I read, I can't put in necessarily my personal opinion, because when I'm working with people, it's on a universe and with each individual person as a whole. I can't make you believe something else. I can just tell you what's going on and the best way to maneuver your way through it.
Elena,
but as a mom, I am a true feminist, which is not the current feminist. I think that but what most feminists don't realize is that we already all had all the power in the first place. We were born with it.
That is such an amazing thing to say, that we were born with it, and John is going to lead off on that, because we are at a time in the show where we need to move on.
By the way, I woke up like this, in case you were wondering. But
I know.
Elena, I'm thinking that I have been dogging this guy, Jeffrey Epstein. I don't believe that he killed himself. I don't believe that he's even dead.
Tell us where he is.
And Frank, my partner, and other members of my team said, John, you sound crazy saying that he's not dead. He's obviously dead. Whether or not he killed himself is another story. Can you give me any...
He didn't, and I said this in the beginning, he didn't kill himself. Anybody that would think he did kill himself, no, he didn't. And is he very much around? Absolutely. He isn't going anywhere. He's kind of like, there's people that kind of get stuck over here. That man isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
So you are confirming to me, in your expert opinion, that he is in the spirit world, regardless of how he got there. He's not walking the face of the earth anymore.
Wait, he's dead? Are you confirming he's dead? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, he's gone. He is on the other side.
Yeah.
So it's not like Jimmy.
Really?
It's not like Jimmy Hoff is coming back. But I didn't say he didn't go to the other side. He's not going to go and face judgment. Because you have to understand, everybody always gets their comeuppance. He's hanging out there because he knows if he tries to come back again, there's a lot of stuff he's going to have to answer to. His karma's going to kick him and bite him in the ass. And the reality of it is then he's got to come back and do this all over again. What everybody doesn't realize is you better make yourself right, and make yourself right with people and situations. Or when this is all over, you got to come back again. And you have to make atonement for it one way or another.
Ouch. Elena. In our final 2 minutes here, I watch your lives. I watch them sometimes after. You're amazing. And you did peg my father's spirit the first time that we ever met. Is there anything that I need to know personally right now? Is Pops all right with me, or I got to fix anything? Or?
No, you're doing very well. Your dad's always with you, and I know you always feel him. But you know what? I'm going to tell you something really funny, because he does stay with you. So if you feel energy, But right now he's scooting more towards your co-host because he kind of crushes on her a little bit.
All right, well, that makes sense.
In a good way.
I love that. I love that. You're so on it. And I love your necklace. What's that pendulum you're wearing? That is a labradorite. It's a labradorite crystal. It's so
actually
drawn
a
to
high
that.
energy crystal, and it brings protection. It brings visions. It helps with your psychic attunement and vibration.
You and me will speak later, my love. We will speak later, and I would like to promote you on my social media.
Yeah,
because you
let's do
are
that.
so inspirational
Let's get
and
Elena
beautiful,
out
and your
there.
energy is incredible as a mom and as a woman. And I just want to help you get your story out there. And you are so wonderful, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. And also, I had heard a little bit about the shoes, the Converses. My son is actually autistic. One of my sons, my 23-year-old, and I've actually done a lot of work with different people with different. So if there's anything that I can do to help or assist with
I would be so honored
that.
to collaborate with you. I will reach out to you.
Let's
Thank
make
you so
that
much.
happen. All right, we need you back. I lost your cosmic connection, and now I have it back. I can't lose it again. We need you.
Well, you can have me anytime you want me. I'm always here waiting.
She's a medium. I'm a large, sometimes an extra large, but the show is as extra large as it gets when we have these power women. Elena Servinio-Schwinn and Xen Sams are with us. We're going to take a quick break and wrap it up with a very special guest right after this. Welcome back, folks.
For more Liquid Lunch, head over to YouTube, do a search for Liquid Lunch TV, and hit that subscribe button.
All right, welcome back. We have just cruised right through hour 2 on a Woman Wednesday edition of Liquid Lunch, coming to you as we do every single day from the Corona Bunker Studios on Biz TV. Now, I have been teasing you throughout the show today, of course, first by bringing in Xen Sams as a 2-hour co-host, and then saying we may have one more special guest. And for the final segment today, we have quite this special guest. We're joined again by the man himself, and might I add, my ace in the hole, Frank Morano, joins us.
That's
with
a ding
WTF. That's a ding.
Hello there, Zen. Hello there, John.
Hello.
Wow.
And that's what we're doing.
Salud.
What's in your wallet?
My apologies for getting here late. I actually took off from my second job today, so in order to be here, but my boss has said to me, look, Frank, we're putting this ad in today's New York Post, a full-page ad, and look, you can see you're in the ad, and that's me. So how ridiculous would it be? They said, how ridiculous would it be if we're advertising your show and then people tune in and then you're not there? So I was persuaded to work. All right, well, that makes 6-hour work
For
day.
those of you at home, and if you don't know, Frank has been my co-host on Liquid Lunch and many other productions over the years, and we're best of friends. But he's now a constant on-air personality at WABC Radio 77 right here in New York, the strongest signal in New York. He's on like 6 to 10 in the morning filling in, then he's on from 10 to 12 in Long Island, then he's on from 1 to 5 and 7 to 9 on Sunday. The guy's like a media mogul at this point. And
Frank's too busy to even respond to me.
That is not true.
I mean,
No, it is. And then when he does respond, wait 1 second. And when he does respond to me, he goes, I'm sorry, that was too long of a text.
Yours was too long.
That's 7 pages long.
Yeah, you gotta say, I've done.
Are you gonna say?
What? You were just attacking me in the last segment that I couldn't say. Joe Biden said, "If you're not voting for me, you ain't black," and you said, "Oh."
No, I don't. I just want to give
got mad about
perspective.
that.
You are
no, but that had nothing to do with text message.
You
now
are,
you're crossing.
you are a long texter, and that's fine. That's part of your personality.
Really?
But look,
throwing men to the bus like that?
You are a long
no.
texter.
That's okay. I don't forget.
Look, people should keep this in mind.
I'll tweet.
If something is longer than 200 characters, it should not be a text message. It should be an email, right? If something requires very nuanced conversation, then call in. You know, make sure you make a phone call. It's too much.
Are we still on this?
For old time's sake.
But I love you to pieces.
Thank you.
To pieces.
I'm quite fond of you as well.
For old time's sake, Every day on Liquid Lunch, everyone in our audience used to look forward to the final segment, the WTF, the What's the Facts, where you would keep me in line for exaggerating, hypothecating, estimating.
Well, I've been watching the show just about every day, and Jessica has done a great job keeping you in line. Nico's done a fair job. It seems like your behavior has improved a little bit since your daughter Ava joined the crew.
He has.
Nice.
You know what? I share your sentiment.
Right.
Thank you so much,
True.
Mr. Morano.
I got to set an example.
You know, he's setting himself up to be a father very soon, because I know I could feel it.
Well,
Rachel, I hope you're watching. It's going to happen soon. This was a total fatherly comment happening. I'm just
Frank
saying.
is recently
what are you blushing
married.
about? It's going to
On his
happen.
way to become a
This is the
homeowner.
next best thing that could happen to you, other than WABC Radio and, of course, John Tobacco.
Well, right now we were trying to go with the WTF.
Right.
We did the whole.
So what I was going to say, John, is I don't know that I
WABC.
have many corrections. We drove here from Manhattan, and I was trying to watch on the internet while driving, which is not a great thing to do while you have a suspended license. However,
that's another.
Everything that I saw from both of you was right on the money. I didn't see all of your crazy conspiracy segments, so I'm sure that you said something there that was inaccurate or misleading.
No,
but I can't say with specificity what it was.
Well, here's the thing. Now, what I've learned is, because we're really, and for those of you watching out there, if you haven't, Jess, do we get any people that want to win a free scale today?
Are you drinking room temperature white wine?
It's John.
Well,
John,
did you?
She's drinking room temperature white wine. What kind of
I
host
mean, that's
are you?
what you wanted. All right.
No, it's not what I wanted. It's what you
We're giving
gave
away
me.
a free scale. Okay,
No, you
that's
put it on
the
the
first
spot,
thing, a free medical scale. Okay. And
medical scale.
all right. Well,
Just
one of our
saying.
friends over at Echo World Communications is
No,
going to give
I
us
get
different
it.
medical products every day to give away.
I want to know if you've gained weight.
Okay, I've
I'm
definitely
just saying.
gained weight. We're gonna
so
get.
I can
I'm
stay
gonna.
on top
I'm gonna
of your
get
progress
one.
because I want you to live long, healthy
too.
life, so you can continue contributing the amazing
So,
information
Frank, you haven't seen
do.
any mistakes
No.
today, but
I'm sure there were some in that crazy conspiracy segment, but I did not see any, and I can't correct any firsthand.
fantastic. Did you know that at one point in the last 2 decades, Disney Cruise Lines
I
had
heard
a
this.
stop-off?
Okay, are we
at
still on this
Epstein
Disney
Island.
Cruise
No,
Line?
no. I
I'm
mean,
just saying,
that's
like,
a fact.
for real,
That's
they-
not.
I heard you.
No, they
Okay,
had
so
no
you heard
idea.
that one.
They had no idea they could have been stopping there. Why are you still on this?
Because a
Because
major
they-
company like Disney
Because a
would
major
do some research on where they were going to let their patrons go for insurance
But
purposes and
Epstein was
everything.
very manipulative, a narcissist, and a sociopath, and he strategically planted that island, and Disney could have not known. I'm just saying, like, you know.
Frankie, tell me this.
Yes, I will tell you.
see your new boss, John Catsimatidis, the head of, he's a multimedia mogul in all things.
Yes.
And I saw him on Fox the other day, and I know he's been considering running for mayor. He's come out and said if he does, he'll spend $100 million. Brian someone asked him straight up, "Are you going to run for mayor?" And he said, "We're seriously thinking about it," which in my lingo means yes.
I think he does want to run, and I think First of all, I would have said if you asked 6 months ago if his health is up to it, then I think he's definitely going to make the run. But he's actually lost about 60 pounds.
He looks great.
He looks
I noticed
terrific.
that. He looks great.
He looks as good now as I've known him probably about 15 years, as good as I've ever seen him look. So I would guess that he is going to run, unless there are circumstances that prevent him from doing it. I'm not sure if he's going to run as a Democrat or Republican, independent. But I think certainly if you look at what's happening in the city, and I know you guys were touching upon the situation involving Dr. Barbeau, but whether it's crime, whether it's disorder in the schools, whether it's healthcare, I mean, the city seems just in complete disarray. And I think the city could do worse than somebody like John Catsimatidis, who has a history of running very successful businesses. Every business John has bought, not one of them has gone bankrupt. Not one of them has folded, right? So it tells you, this is a guy, an immigrant, success story, totally self-made. I think the city could do worse.
And the one thing that you need in New York is you need people to believe that you have some moderate to Democratic bona fides. And John has spent a lifetime
he was a
making
Bill Clinton
friends
Democrat.
on both sides of the aisle. So I think that's a really good thing.
And as a mom, I would endorse him 100% because not only is John Catsimatidis one of those people where his family is close to home, but he also embodies New York City, New York State.
Well, it's been fun being back.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. For those of you watching on Biz TV, if you want to see a special post-show edition today with Andrew McKenna, a guy who went from federal prosecutor to federal prisoner, and what he's doing now to help people with substance abuse. Go to our YouTube page, like it, thumb it up, do something. And
So we're going to be broadcasting on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll be on
minutes.
YouTube in just a few minutes.
Check it out very soon.
All you on Biz TV who don't have a time for us on YouTube, tune in again tomorrow for a Thirsty Thursday. Same bat time, same bat channel, more Liquid Lunch.